So you're probably thinking, why is Alan out in the woods with his bike dressed to go out for a ride? Why aren't we talking about photography? Well, we are going to talk about photography, but it's just that the location is somewhat different to my office. So let me explain why we're here. So 18 months ago, my wife decided we were going to decorate the lounge. So she ripped all the wallpaper off, and as she's doing that, I looked at the wall that she was working on and thought, actually, it would look really good if I could do a photograph, blow it up to completely fill that wall. It would just look amazing. It's just crying out for that sort of, for a photo like that. So I suggested that, and she was in agreement. And anyway, I didn't do it last summer. We're now into this summer, hence why I'm here in the woods to get this photo. So what am I after? I'm looking for a photograph that I can blow up to about 8 foot by 6 foot, and it'll be done as wallpaper, so you can actually paste it on the wall. That brings the outside indoors, that brings a forest to my lounge. That's what I'm looking to get today. I don't know exactly what I want. I've got a couple of ideas. I want depth. So I want something in the foreground. I want the subject, the stuff that's in focus. I want nice light in the background. I want it to feel like summer, so that in the middle of winter, when it's dark and horrible, you've got this wall that just makes you smile. That's what the aim is. So I'm going off on my bike. I know this woods quite well. I don't know exactly where I'm going to get the shot. It's just a matter of riding around and waiting to see somewhere. I've got my Z5. I've put the 50mm lens on. One of the problems that I came across when I thought about doing this is scale. So for instance, if you took a photograph of a rose, okay, and you blow it up to, this size, then obviously the rose is this sort of size. It's way, way bigger than life size. I definitely don't want that. I want whatever I do, when I blow it up and print it as a 6 foot by 8 foot photograph I get made into wallpaper, it's no bigger than life size, preferably, if anything, slightly smaller than life size. And getting that scale right is going to be quite critical. And the way to do it, in case you just want to do something like this yourself, imagine the frame of your photo. It's a 4:3 aspect ratio, say, just to make it easy. So if you blow the short side, so the 3 up to 6 feet, if you had the print is 6 feet, if something is just a foot, okay, then that's going to be to be life size, it's going to be 1/6 of the frame. So, and what I've got to do is, when I take this photograph, is to imagine a 1 foot rule, and that, whatever that is, has got to fill 1/6 of the height of my frame in camera. That's what I'm looking to do. I think the 50mm lens should be perfect for this. I thought about 35, but that's probably too short. 50 should be perfect. We'll see how we go. So we'll stop on the way around and see how I get on. That was fun, wasn't it? So, done 200 yards and then I had to stop. I got a bloody puncture. Can you believe it? Anyway, fixed. Been riding for about 10 minutes and I found this spot here. I don't know if you can see it particularly well. I'm probably in the way. And the sun has actually just gone in just as I've started to do this recording. But we had some lovely sunlight over on those on the bracken over there. and it's just a nice mix of green and trees. And I actually found a spot where I had a sort of Christmas tree type thing right in the foreground, so it shot that through that tree. Let me see if I can show you. So it was kind of through that tree, looking over there, over into the distance. As I say, the light was the sun was out earlier, a few moments ago, and I did get some shots there. So we'll carry on and see what else we can find. You probably can't see. I've just stopped here because no, it's not coming out on this screen, but hopefully it will come out on the camera. Behind me, over there, the light is really weird. It's like suddenly it's gone really misty. The sun's come out a minute or two ago, and I just wonder if it's causing some really sort of fine mist over in the trees there. It certainly looks gorgeous in real life. Hopefully the camera's got it all right, even if the video hasn't. Let's continue. Well, I think I might have just got the shot. I think I said right back at the beginning, I wanted a shot with various sort of, I wanted depth, I wanted layers, and it's probably not coming out very well in the video, but at the end of the path there are some trees way off in the distance. So they're way off in the distance, and I've got these trees here, and then just off to the side behind me, I've got a bit of undergrowth. So I've just been over there into the undergrowth. Sorry, it was uphill for the last few minutes. I got a shot with some undergrowth, you know, really up close. Then these trees here in the midground, and those trees way off in the distance in the background. I stepped off to the side to make the path that I'm on here less obvious. I didn't really want that in the shot, but it still gives a nice opening for the trees over there in the distance. So I think that's probably it for today's excursion. I've got about a 2 or 3 mile ride back to the car now, so we'll meet again back in the office, and we'll have a look at the photos. Okay, hi and welcome to the office, and we're looking at Lightroom, of course. I'm not recording the screen this time. I'm just recording this straight off the camera, just a bit more easy, and I hope it works okay. So down the bottom here, you can just about see the timeline, I think, down here. I've actually selected one photo, as you can see here. I just want to show you. I did take a series of 3 photos. There's this one, all in portrait mode. This one, this one, this one, and this one. So 4 photos, and they all overlap. So the idea was that I could stitch these 4 together and get a very detailed shot of that part of the woods. Anyway, I won't bore you. I did it. I did the panorama. It really didn't work, and in fact I have to be honest and say that none of these are quite what I was hoping for, and this one we're going to look at here is probably the nearest I got. Now whether or not I'll actually use this for the wall, I'm not sure, and even if I do, I've changed my idea. I think I mentioned when we were out in the woods that I was going to create some wallpaper from the photo. What I think I'm going to do this now is actually divide this into 3 photos. So literally just cut it in thirds vertically, and then get each of those printed separately, mount them on a board, and then I'll put them on the wall. Because we've got the radiator, I'll make the height from the ceiling down to here to be the same as down to the top of the radiator, so that I can put them on the wall above the radiator. And I'll just separate each of the frames by 1 inch or so, And I think that will look better actually than trying to do it as wallpaper. So here's the straight out of camera shot rather, and I exposed, as you can see, for the sky. Nikon cameras are absolutely brilliant at recovering shadows, and so I wanted to have the sky there. I took 2 or 3 other shots in the same place, and this was right at the end of the ride, literally the last shots I took. Here's one, and I'm actually looking at the video camera, and this is coming out a fair bit brighter on the video camera than it actually is on my screen, but hopefully you get the idea. So this is one that I've already edited. So what I like about it is we've got a balance, some sort of balance. We've got some green, we've got enough trees but without it being a complete wall of trees. We've got some interest in the distance here, and I think I was talking about this actually out in the forest. We've obviously got some sky. Now a lot of the shots I took, maybe like this one, it's just an absolute forest. There's no distant, nothing in the distance. There's no sky to speak of. Another one like this, it's just too green. These shots here I liked because it was a nice mix, and this may end up getting printed. I'm not definitely going to say for sure. Anyway, this is the actual finished shot, and again it is coming out brighter on the video than it is in real life on my screen, but this is what it was like out of camera. So very quickly, all I did to get this looking good was, first of all, obviously raise the shadows as much as possible. Makes very little difference actually, and I'm actually going to drop the highlights because I'm now going to lift the exposure until we get something like the right exposure. Now what is the right exposure? Are we exposing for the sky, a tree trunk, the grass here? What is it? And what I'm after is actually to have the trees so that you can actually see a little bit of detail. So I want that a bit brighter, possibly something like that. Yeah, I think around there. Now, again, on the video, this might already look very vibrant and bright, but what I've done in the final image is I've actually, let's switch over to that now, is in this image, I actually increase the saturation of the blue, I increase the saturation of the trees, so I increase the saturation of this colour, just simply going over to the hue, saturation, luminance slider. As you can see, I increase the saturation of those colours and of the sky, just so that the trees are more obvious in the shot. And what else have I done? Come on, the highlights I've dropped right the way down because we've got sky in here. It just gives me an interesting looking sky. There's absolutely no blown out highlights. As you can see from the clipping, we've got no clipped shadows, we've got no clipped highlights, and as I say, the image on the screen, I think when it's printed and you look at it closely, we've got enough detail. And this is just a single shot, this isn't a composite or anything like that. You remember what I said in one of the shots in the forest about scale, and I've picked this picture partly because there's nothing really in the foreground. When I blow, so this section here, let me just show you. So what I've now got to do is to crop this image, and whoops, it's going to be 3 shots, something like that. I'll have to play around with the aspect ratio to get the right size, which I won't bore you with. So it's going to be something like that for this picture. If you've got something in the foreground, remember this from the top to the bottom when I print this is going to be around about 5 feet. So I don't want anything really close up. Can I just undo that? Right. There were several photos where I liked something in the foreground, like this one here. And I think if this was a 6x4 inches, I'm talking, or just on the screen, I think that looks quite good. We've got some interest in the foreground here, but of course when you print that 5 feet from the top to the bottom here means that this leaf is going to be, you know, nearly a foot long. It's just going to look weird. It's going to be way over the top, hence why I've picked this image. So I hope you found that useful. Maybe at some point when I actually get these cut up into 3 and I get it printed and put it on the wall, I'll do a 2-minute video just to update you there and just let you see what it looks like.